justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Sisson. Here. Gerald.
Here.
Zuma. Here. Huffman.
Here.
Hughes.
Present.
Payne.
Here.
Lemming.
Here.
Kellenberger.
Here.
We have a quorum. First item, I've got a few announcements. The city has just received a $90,800 TARP fund grant to be used on the Skyview Drive reconstruction project. That'll ease that cost a bit. I'd like to remind the public that the spring cleanup starts the week of May 5th. Items cannot be placed outside until April 28th, and we're already getting a lot of boulevards filled up. And it might be time to start putting some tickets out. But they seem to listen to the date, but not the warning. But it makes our city look pretty bad for about 3 or 4 weeks when 1 week would be nice. The newsletter will be coming out early next week, and in that newsletter is a cross-connection survey that's being administered by our water department. Please complete and return the survey. Together Litchfield Can is doing a housing needs survey, and it can be located on the city's website or on Facebook. We encourage all residents to participate in that survey. The water department still needs participants for our water sampling program. If you have a lead line, get in contact with the water department to sign up. We're offering a discount if you participate in that program. We're offering a monthly discount. And lastly, Graham has heard from the animal control. The services will likely take effect June 1st, and he's working with the county on the start date. And I know they're still interviewing candidates for the warden. And that is all. I'd like a motion to accept the minutes from the April 3rd, 2025 meeting. Alderman Gerald.
Second.
Alderman Payne, thank you. Any exceptions to the minutes? Roll call, please.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Lemming.
Aye.
Payne. Hughes.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Zuma. Gerald. Sisson.
Motion passes. I'd like a motion now to approve the expenditure report and the payroll report for the current period. Alderwoman Huffman.
I'll second it.
Alderman Fleming. Any exceptions to the reports? Roll call, please.
Sisson. Gerald.
Aye.
Zuma. Huffman.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Payne. Lemming.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Motion passes. And next we'll have a discussion. Lee, do you want to lead that?
Absolutely. Good evening. The mayor mentioned $90,800 in TARP funding. That completes the proposed funding for the Skyview Drive. We plan to have those plans to IDOT next week. They'll take a while to review them. Hopefully we have a final walkthrough with them in May and a bid opening in June. So July, August timeframe, roughly, depending upon everything. We plan for construction to start late summer. Safe Route School, that is in process. We're looking still at a third quarter bid opening on that. Now that is the state let, so once we get all the plans and everything finalized with IDOT, it's about 2 months before the state letting is in Springfield. The Skyview Drive is a local let, so that'll be here. That can turn that around in 2 weeks. Safe Route School will be in Springfield, and that takes a little bit longer. OSLAD grant, that's moving forward with a survey and preliminary plans. Tentatively planning on bidding that out in late second quarter. The Rippy grant, everything to do with CIPS gas line is done. I think the city's received the full $2 million, and the grant will be closed out. It's not like a public infrastructure, there won't be a public hearing. We'll take care of the paperwork, and the project will be done. Your DCO grant, $1.5 million that you received, that's probably late second quarter bidding that out. That's for water main replacement. You received $1.5 million, you're putting $300,000 in it for a $1.8 million project, so that is in progress for a bid advertisement later this quarter. No updates on the brick, downtown RDMS. Gary is taking care of that with the contractors. The bills that have been paid are being drawn down as they're paid. It's a reimbursement grant, so you actually have to write the check out, need the check, and then we get the money back from the state on that. Unsewered, the application for the planning grant for the east side of town was submitted. I've not heard anything, I don't know if the city's heard anything. I expect that to come through. They were doing that on a first come, first served basis. They didn't have a deadline. I think you had it in early, so I do anticipate that'll be funded. The benefit of that falls for potential later NOFO. That is gonna be $5 million, potentially no leverage. So you could literally serve, I'm gonna say the unserved areas on the east side of town, potentially with no leverage. Energy efficiency, nothing on that. RDMS, that was not funded, so that was a good application. I did talk to them. That program received well over 100 applications and they funded under 20. So they literally had a lot more interest than they anticipated. They don't know if there'll be another NOFO. We'll try to talk to them, set up maybe a conference call just to how to improve the application in case there is a future NOFO. Sally Street, there's items the city's working on for that. That is potentially a late this year project. Energy transition grant, so you guys got money because of the closing of the coal plants. That money is being used, you got $96,426 to fund the design engineering for your DCO grant. So you're using grant funds with grant funds. And DCO water meter replacement, that is a potential application this year. If you wanna do something like the grant you already received. They are lowering that from 1.5 million to $1 million. Those will be due around December. If you're gonna do it, we'll need to figure that out. You'll have to attend a webinar in June. All applicants will have to attend that, is what they're stating. And you have to have EPA permits in hand, which takes about 3 to 4 months. So we can review that and see if the city wants to do it. And going back to Safe Route to School, that is coming up this year also, probably a NOFO in June. You were successful in the last one. If you wanna do that one, assuming the NOFO is the same, it was $250,000 in grant funds, which covers construction engineering. You just have to pay for design engineering, so it's a pretty good day. It's about probably 85% grant funds for the project, so.
Okay, any questions for Lee? Well done, Lee, thank you.
All right, have a good evening.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, Alderman Payne.
I make a motion to approve an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the city of Litchfield for the fiscal year May 1st, 2025 to April 30th, 2026.
Can I get a second? Alderman Garrell seconds. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Ellenberger.
Aye.
Lemming.
Aye.
Payne.
Aye.
Hughes. Huffman.
Aye.
Zumwalt. Garrell.
Aye.
Sisson.
Motion passes. Alderman Payne.
I make a motion to approve a resolution setting the salaries of the Public Works Coordinator and Building Inspector for FY 2026.
Alderwoman Huffman, seconds. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sisson.
Aye.
Garrell.
Aye.
Zumwalt. Huffman.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Payne.
Aye.
Lemming.
Aye.
Ellenberger.
Aye.
Motion passes. Alderwoman Payne.
I make a motion to approve a resolution authorizing an advertising services contract with Great Rivers and Roots Tourism Bureau for an amount not to exceed $40,000.
Can I get a second? Alderwoman Zumwalt, seconds. Any further discussion? This is the same as it's been for the past 2 years, I believe, hasn't it?
It's changed a little bit. We've made them specify that they would provide quarterly reports where they had before had said seasonal, and they didn't really provide those, so we wanted quarterly reports. And we also asked them to get more specific for their digital outreach through, to a greater audience. We asked them where specifically they were advertising.
So we're getting more for the same money.
Yes.
Good.
And we're enforcing things we already should have been getting. We also asked them to have a stronger attendance presence at the tourism meetings.
And we did, put them on notice that we felt like we weren't receiving some of the deliverables, so we'll be watching that, and possibly terminating the contract early if we don't receive those, or reevaluating next year.
Okay, nothing further? Roll call, please.
Ellenberger.
Aye.
Lemming.
Aye.
Payne.
Aye.
Hughes. Huffman.
Aye.
Zumwalt. Garrell.
Aye.
Sisson.
Motion passes. Alderman Kellenberger.
Make a motion to approve a resolution approving and authorizing demolition agreement. Demolition of 112 South Grant Street.
Thank you. Can I get a second? Alderman Darrell seconds. Any further discussion?
That's good, grant funded.
How long did it take to get to this point, Gary? Just curious.
This one was not quite so long because they agreed to have us do it. If we have to go to court, it can go on to 3 months, easy. This one happened within a month and a half.
And this is paid for with grant funds.
Yes.
Great. Any further questions? Roll call, please.
Sisson. Gerald.
Aye.
Zumall. Huffman. Hughes. Payne. Fleming. Kellenberger.
Aye.
Motion passes. Alderman Kellenberger.
Make a motion to approve a resolution approving First Amendment to gas main extension agreement with refundable deposit for non-residential developers and the First electric line extension agreement for non-residential developers with the Ameren, Illinois company.
Can I get a second? Alderman Payne seconds. Any discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
Payne. Hughes. Huffman. Zumall. Gerald. Sisson.
Motion passes. Alderman Fleming.
I'll make a motion to award the following bids for the purchase of water treatment chemicals for fiscal year 2026. Liquid lime to Mississippi Lime, carbon to Dow Carbon, liquid alum to USA LCO, chlorine to Hawkins, Bisulfite to Chemstream, anionic polymer to Polydyne, remaining chemicals to Brentag.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Alderman Payne seconds. Any discussion? Any questions raised? Not here.
Kristen Wallace.
Chris is here. Chris?
Some fun chemical names there, Chris.
Yes, they are. No questions? Roll call, please.
Sisson. Gerald. Zumall. Huffman. Hughes. Payne. Fleming.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Motion passes. Alderman Fleming.
I'll make a motion to approve the emergency installation of a 500 kilowatt generator at the West Water Treatment Facility and monthly rental agreement from AKSA Power Generation at the cost of $2,080 to install, $2,080 for disconnection and $14,186.57 per month.
Can I get a second? Alderman Zumwalt seconds. Any discussion?
Do we know how long we may have to use this one?
I'm working as quickly as I can, it's all dependent on repair parts, which is the next step.
Okay.
Doing what I can.
I believe you.
If they're doing the, well, that's coming up next. If they're doing the repair, what's the urgency for them to get it done?
$14,000 a month for rent, the unit.
No, I mean, what's the urgency on their part?
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
You'll stay on? Okay.
yes.
All right,
Will not be an issue.
very good. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
Payne. Hughes. Huffman. Zumall. Gerald. Sisson.
Motion passes. Alderman Fleming.
I'll make a motion to approve a proposal from ASKA Power Generation for an emergency repair to the wastewater treatment facility. It's a 560 kilowatt generator for an amount not to exceed $19,409.47.
Can I get a second?
I'll second
Alderman Hughes seconds. Any further discussion? Is your generator down right now?
It is, we, experienced several leaks. The unit's 46 years old, began leaking oil and coolant into the oil. And,
We got rain coming. Are you gonna?
with the storms, that's why I got the emergency backup unit installed.
Very good. Okay.
We did look at replacing due to the age, I believe that was it 120?
I just got a bid today, it was $277,000.
Yeah,
And that does not include the pad for it, because I'd like to move it outside, and also all the connections to the, automatic transfer switch, all the conduit.
And we're not certain that this would be the right kilowatts, when we do plan to upgrade, so we didn't want to invest in something new and then not have it be the appropriate generator when plant upgrades are built out, so.
Is there a warranty on the repairs? Like, do they guarantee it for a year or anything like that?
I package. Typically, the work that they're gonna do is gonna be a year, but that doesn't mean with a, you know, a unit this old, that something else couldn't happen to it.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Sisson.
Aye.
Bureau.
Aye.
Zummo.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Payne. Fleming.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Motion passes. Alderwoman Sisson.
I make a motion to approve a resolution authorizing and approving a memorandum of understanding for a school resource officer between the Board of Education and the Litchfield Community Unit School District Number 12 and the City of Litchfield.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Alderwoman Payne seconds. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
Payne. Hughes.
Abstain.
Huffman.
Aye.
Zummo.
Aye.
Bureau.
Aye.
Sisson.
Aye.
Motion passes. Alderman Garrell.
I make a motion to approve a resolution of improvement under the Illinois Highway Code to allocate $696,370 in MFT to road improvements and resurfacing of Skyview Drive.
I'll second that motion.
Alderman Fleming seconds. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Sisson.
Aye.
Bureau.
Aye.
Zummo.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Payne. Fleming.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now I'll ask for a motion to enter into executive session as allowed under the Illinois Open Meetings Act. It's found in chapter 5 of the Illinois Compiled Statute, section 120, to address these certain and restricted items.
So moved.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you got more?
Yeah. Wait a minute, Ray. We're not adjourning yet.
Hope not.
Number 1, discussion of minutes of meetings lawfully closed under this act. Number 2, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, et cetera, for employees. And number 3, the purchase and sale of property. Can I get that motion? Alderman Kellenberger?
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Aye.
Alderwoman Zumwalt. Roll call, please.
Sisson. Bureau. Zummo. Huffman. Hughes. Payne. Fleming.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
We are in executive session.